this is what I was called to do, and God answered my prayer. He's totally faithful.
They took it away and God gave it back.
Yes.
Now to an update on a story we brought you before. This is about the Washington State high school football coach who was fired for kneeling and praying on the field after games. He has since won a major victory at the Supreme Court, and he spoke exclusively to Centerpoint's Gumm.
Tell us how emotionally that felt and how you're feeling now.
It was just awesome. That's what this is about. That's exactly what this is about.
Among the fans in the packed-out stands at Bremerton Memorial Stadium Friday night, witnessing the return of assistant football coach Joseph Kennedy, the consensus was that no one was surprised by the extremely emotional reaction he displayed once his knee touched the turf for the first time in 8 years.
I've been expecting this. I've been waiting for this for so long, and actually going through it and shaking the team's hands and the other coaches, and then coming over to the 50. I've done that. I did that for 8 years, twice a week. I mean, that's a lot of prayers. And my main prayer was just to come back and be able to do it again. And God was faithful. He let me come out here and do it, and I was just so thankful for it.
It was in this stadium in 2008 where he began his traditional post-game prayer after each game, whether the team won or lost. A simple yet impactful 15-second gesture that affected players and parents.
At the end, he's back. He's back, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for what he's doing and what he's done.
We've been praying for him and been totally supportive of him, and are just elated about the Scottish outcome on this.
When our son came home and said that there was an issue, we asked him, you know, we're believers, but we asked him if this is something that he has to do or if it's something that he can choose to do. And he's basically said, I can choose. We don't have to do anything. What's the problem then?
On this momentous night in the town he grew up in, friends, old neighbors, former players, and former colleagues gathered to observe the coach celebrate 2 victories. First, a win over the visiting opponent, and secondly, a win for religious freedom.
I praise God that he continued to fight. I'm honored, I'm blessed to watch him because it's all about the children for him. I'm glad that he fought till the end, and I'm blessed that he's out here. I'm just honored that he's continuing to fight for God.
It's great. I was here 8 years ago for his last game, so it's been a long journey for him, but it's been an amazing journey, and I consider a First Amendment hero. It took time, cost the school a lot of money, which is unfortunate. It could have all been avoided, but they learned a tough lesson, and hopefully other schools will learn the lesson too.
As he took the field with a team that was mostly in elementary school when his battle began, it was a somber reminder that not only did the district take away his right to pray, but his coaching duties as well.
I had 60 guys for 8 years. That was a lot of people that came through here, and a lot of young men that I helped be part of their life, even though it was just for a very short time. And I'm back doing it again. This is what I was called to do, and God answered my prayer. He's totally faithful.
They took it away and God gave it back.
Yes.
Scattered throughout the throngs of supporters, some detractors who believed what the coach did took away attention on the players and placed it solely on his beliefs.
I think he was wrong when he did what he did.
It's got to be about the kids, not about the media and the attention. He needs to be here because he wants to be here for the kids, not the circus.
By his side to face those in opposition, as well as the media, Denise, his wife, a 17-year employee of the same district that fired her husband.
Having grown up here and giving my heart and soul to this school district, I love the people here. I love being back. I love being in our hometown and our family and friends, but I just know that we are where we're supposed to be. We walked the journey we're supposed to, and it was not easy at all.
On the same night where Coach Kennedy expressed freedom and gave thanks to God, military members were honored before the game. For this Marine of 20 years, there was never a doubt in 8 years he would give up the fight for something he passionately believed in.
But he's just an average guy. You know, he didn't sign up for a big constitutional law fight. It came to him. And so he was just trying to mind his own business at the beginning. And so the fact that that he was able to persevere through this, most people wouldn't have done that. I've got a lot of clients that they just can't handle that level of scrutiny and difficulty, and going 0-5 year after year, losing and losing and losing until you finally get to the Super Bowl at the Supreme Court. I mean, that's a very difficult journey.
As far as what's next for this champion of religious freedom,
hopefully have a little bit of rest. Now that the fight is over, everything should mellow out, the country can heal and start enjoying their freedom. God's been allowed back in schools. It's going to be great to see that we were part of that. And we'll be able to take a deep breath and just smile and say, we finished that race.
reporting for Centerpoint in Bremerton, Washington, I'm Joe Gumm.
Wow, what a credible story of religious freedom and perseverance there from Joe Gumm, now on set with us. Great package. Love this story, and you got to be there with him. What was the sense of what's next? Obviously, it says rest, but this has taken years for him to accomplish.
Yeah, just to breathe is what we saw on Friday night, just to go, okay, it's over. And I asked him during that interview that we didn't hear, but I said, it's not the end of your life, but end of this life story, this part of your life story. He said 100%, a season of rest is coming up. But right now, I just don't think he knows. Obviously, he joked with the media there and said, hey, I have practice on Monday, yesterday. So we're not sure if he's going to remain there. His entire family is there, but he does have a book that he's promoting coming up in October, The Average Joe, the Coach Joe Kennedy story. Right there on your screen. That's coming out in October, where he talks a lot about the struggle that he went to, including how hard it was on his family and, of course, his marriage. That was the hardest thing. She didn't really go into it, his wife Denise there in the package, but they were near divorce. That's how bad it was. And after year one, she told him, drop it. I don't want to go through this anymore. But one day she finally said, I realized then that it wasn't about me, it wasn't about him, it was about God's will. And God's will was to pursue this and keep fighting.
That's so amazing and crazy to hear, because as you heard his counsel say there, 0-5, it took years after years, finally went to the Supreme Court. An amazing story. Thanks for bringing that to us, Joe.
It was great to cover.